Assalamu alaikum. Hi, Oracle Reiki spiritual healer. And I have just been getting some feedback, and I'm glad that you guys give me feedback because I like constructive criticism. That's fine because it gives me a chance to ask questions. And my questions is, well, let's first talk about what the feedback was. The feedback was I'm harsh. I'm too harsh on the chosen one. Okay, so this is the only thing that I have to say, and these are my questions to you. We have two whitey people, two whitey men trying to go into Haiti, on an island in Haiti, and take over Haiti, an island, and enslave women and children for their own sexual desires. So my question is, I'm too harsh, but the colonizer is not. Okay. All right. So, since I don't plan on, making you feel good about where we are in society, then, I'm going to give you my idea of behaviors that's going on in society. I do not understand why people are surprised about these two men plotting to go and take over an island and enslave black people, enslave women and children. This has been going on right here in the United States. This is why I have been talking to you in the way that I have been talking to you, because there is nowhere that you can go in your community that there isn't a corner store that is exploiting black young girls in your community. Girls that, you haven't given any money to, or don't feel like they need any money just because you're taking care of them. And they are exploiting these young girls. They are having, intercourse with these young girls for something to eat, for $5 and $10, behaviors that they would not want with their own daughters, these business owners in our community. So we have to understand, and we're going to get into the business today, that there are prayers that we can pray, but in many ways, you're going to have to stand up and do something about that. And you say that I'm harsh to the chosen ones. How am I harsh? What can be harsher than that? There are other things that we have to understand. That these people in our community that have been inserted in our community in order to exploit our women, to control our women, a lot of them are coming from overseas. They're having, intercourse with other women overseas, or people that they perceive to be women overseas. They are spreading disease. And again, you're getting their sloppy seconds. You're wondering where all of this disease is coming from. Over my next two videos, you're going to understand where this disease is coming from in our community. And a lot of things that you need to stand up and take control of. Stop your kids from going into these places on their own, your teenagers. Make sure that you have prepared your children, with knowledge and understanding of what happens. These people who have, these slick talkers in these businesses, that your kids have money, they have the means, so that they're not desperate enough for $5 or $10. That's just like, going to, do something for a racist, on a racist commercial, and you're a black person because you're desperate. So, again, I don't see why we are surprised that this is going on in our community. Let me get my notes so that I can just look at you. I can just look at you crazy because you don't want me to tell you the hardcore truth. You want me to, smooth it over and make you feel good about what? These women who are giving their daughters up to these men. And many times they are, again, around the world sleeping with people who have had sex changes, who are, gay, who are transgender. And they're sleeping with, both sexes, men and women, and coming back into our community, controlling our young women, giving them $5 or $10, giving them something to eat, giving them some wine, things that they would not want for their daughters. And we do not have, the males or the females, the chosen one, males or females, who's willing to talk about these people inserted in our society. So, I tried to be very nice about it in one of my videos last week and say that, you need to go ahead and set up your own storefronts in our community so that our young people do not have to go there, and so that, we can maintain a steady watch of our young people. We have to take our power back as the chosen ones. These people that just want you to sit up and see this going on, and you want to be able to put your daughter out and say that she's fast, but you haven't provided for her. And she's being targeted, by these people who have been inserted in our store. But I digress on that. So, I don't think that I'm being mean at all. I think that, I'm speaking a speech that is just, in which I will continue to do. And just look at you. So, we have another understanding on this topic for the chosen one men and the chosen one women. Why do you think that, they don't want you to have any kind of land? Why do you think that only the governments in a lot of these countries, only the governments is allowed to own land? Because if you have land, then you can have livestock, and you can, demand a fee for your daughter's hand. You can, your son will be able to provide. And these people in these governments, in these positions, they don't want you to be able to have control over your women. That's the most important thing that you need to understand. If they can take control of your women and have their way with them, that means that they can leave their sloppy best for you down at the bottom feeders, and they can unleash diseases and wrath in your community. I just want you to understand where I'm coming from. So when you say that I'm being hard, I have not begun to be hard yet. I have not begun, to show you the examples in society and the past that is relevant to today, that we all need to be standing up saying this right here on our channels, what's going on in our society, the fear that they have put you in is the fear that I despise. I simply despise it. So I'm going to give you the hardcore truth. This is where we are. Those white tea men is an example of what has been going on in our society, still going on in our society. And we're going to pray against it. We're going to cleanse a lot of this negative energy with our full moon cleanse, with our cold moon, super full moon cleanse, December the 4th. And so, and I'm going to give you different ways that we can do that. But the first thing that I'm going to give you is Surah Al-Isra, that you're going to have a connection to God, and you're going to have to see that, the disease that's in our community is not by coincidence. It's because of the sexual immorality given to a lot of our men, the leaders, the women, from the colonizer. The behavior where they have no choice. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at what Surah Al-Isra say, 17 and 32, about sexual immorality. And do not approach unlawful sexual intercourse. It is ever an immorality and an evil way. Okay, so we understand that. It says the same thing in 1 Corinthians 6 and 18. And before we even get in that, we're going to make sure that we have the understanding that the wages of sin is death. I will not ever be able to speak that enough to you. If you are not going to stand up and defend your women, if you are not going to stand up and say anything that you're not getting virgins, your sons aren't getting virgins because the colonizers and the enslavers have, tainted them first. We're going to get into it. If it's not the people in the homes, the men in the homes who have tainted them first. Okay? So we have to hold these men accountable. We're holding the men accountable in our homes. We're holding the women accountable in our homes who have been given over into the entity to sacrifice their own children, to watch them sacrifice themselves for a little bit of nothing. I had a mother that was on, and it really ticks me off, but it was a mother and a daughter on TikTok. And the mother was saying that, she was an addict. So she had definitely, let them molest her kids. She had sold her kids into sexual servitude for her addiction. And she was telling her daughter was recording her saying that, she used to let them SA them. Okay. So we have this understanding that these people who have sacrificed their own people, it's a big surprise when you have two whitey men that is, trying to go and do this in a country. But it's no surprise that it's already here. It's in your face right here. And you say nothing because of what? Okay, so that's what I thought. So I haven't begun to be as hard as I can be on you. So I'm gonna digress though. So and just look at you. 1 Corinthians 6 and 18. Flee from sexual immorality. And that's lust. That's lust. That's fornication. That is all types of sexual immorality. Open lewdness. So you have to understand that the attacks that these men were planning, this has already been embedded in their mind. It's already been embedded in our community. Go to any store at any given time, when you have a lot of young people in the store, and you have these store owners. You have these store owners that's from other countries looking to exploit our women, looking to exploit our young people. So until we stand up and say something about these narcissists that's inserted into our community, until we stand up and take control and we start short stopping these stores in our community that we don't want their business, then these types of headlines will continue to come out. So don't be surprised that they tried to take over a country. But, you're not surprised that it's going on right in your neighborhood, right in your own house, right under your nose. but you want to put the young girl out. Okay, so, you know, this is, I hope that this message has reached you. I hope that you're enjoying my channel, because it actually, you know, I have to let you know these type of things. That's what I'm here for, to inform you. So, you know, I hope that you reach out to me and you acclimate a gift to your situation. If you're having these problems where these energy vampires, these financial vampires are setting up on your children, I hope that you reach out to me so that we can go ahead and put a stop to that. Thank you so much for liking my channel. Please like, share, and subscribe to me over all of my platforms. Book your one-on-one sessions with me. Donate to me. Book your life coaching sessions or your video chat sessions. I'm High Oracle Reiki Spiritual Healer. Assalamu alaikum.